This episode of the Empty Netters podcast is brought to you by our partners at BetMGM. Without a doubt, the best sports gambling app in the game. Get on there and join in on all the action with us. Ice is ready, babes, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast. You got DP, your boy over here, Dan Powers, as always, with CP, Chris Powers. As always. We've got an unbelievable episode for you today. We've got TJ Oshie of the Washington Capitals and U.S. Men's Hockey Olympic hero on the pod.
One of the most excited I've ever been to speak to somebody.
I agree
That's a
completely.
fact. That's a fact.
I agree completely.
It's easy to get hyped, and everybody. I'm such a fan of this league, and everybody that comes on, I'm so appreciative of. Yeah. But dude, core memory. If Ben Ginsberg is listening, like 4 a.m. waking up, thing of donuts to watch Osh.
Yeah.
Like, just what a story, what a guy. So
yeah.
this was one we had circled for a long time.
Osh is without a doubt one of the more, he's got to be a top 5 humble guys on earth, but also one of the more unique hockey players you'll ever talk to. I mean, he's just someone who loves the game as much as anyone, but also is just not a psycho about it.
Yeah.
Like that. I love so many of his stories. We don't want to give anything away. We want to let you enjoy it. TJ Oshie, one of the best guys you'll ever meet, ever listen to. Get into the interview.
We are joined today by a Mount Vernon, or maybe Everett, actually, depending on who you ask, but a Mount Vernon or Everett native, a WCHA first-team All-American for North Dakota, a World Championship bronze medalist, the 24th overall pick by the St. Louis Blues in the 2005 draft, current assistant captain of the Washington Capitals, founder of Warroad Hockey Company, NHL All-Star, and Stanley Cup champion. TJ Oshie, welcome to the Empty Netters podcast.
Let's go.
I appreciate it. Thanks, boys. That's a heck of an intro. I must have been playing for a while. Must be getting old if there's that many things on the list.
Yeah, it's like a long scroll that you just open up of all these accolades.
Like a town crier. I need like a trumpet to get everyone fired up.
Let's go.
Dude, I got to ask, how's the golf game right now?
The golf game, in my mind, is super tight.
Yep.
Okay.
And on the range, it's super tight. When I get out there, which isn't very often, but it's just not as tight as I'd like it to be. So, actually, one of my best attributes, almost like since I started I picked up golf in high school, has been my short game and my putting, like being just kind of handsy, feely. And I've had these like putter yips for like 3 years. Yeah. It is just like, it is so frustrating. I took out 2 clubs in my bag. I have 2 putters in my bag. I walk around with 2 putters.
You're that guy?
It's mayhem.
Yeah. You're fully in your head, dude. Like you're not putting, so you go to the other one and you're just back and forth all the time.
I'll drive at 320 off the tee, have like a little wedge in, and then like 3 putt. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. What's the difference between the putters?
One of them is so just a blade, very small grip putter, like very handsy. Basically, like is what I like to use for like inside 15 feet, and then the other one's just like the big grip.
You got the super stroke grip on it.
Like it's the Scotty Cameron grip that comes with it, but the grip itself is like it goes halfway down the and then and it's got like the massive, I don't know what's called, a mallet or whatever.
Yeah. Those are like completely different putters.
So different. I'm like that with my hockey sticks too. I'm an absolute maniac.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we're good buddies with Swayman, and he said he was golfing with you in Maine recently, and you were great. So you might be being too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. So we got a couple rain delays, and the boys went in and during the rain delay and hung out in the clubhouse, and I think those did not help me out.
Yeah,
I get a little excited when you get a bunch of the boys in one room, but yeah, it was fine. It was fine. That's a great tournament, though. It's awesome seeing the Boston guys up there too.
Oh yeah, it's a blast.
We battle all year. So
how does the back feel when you're golfing?
The back feels good for the most part when I'm golfing. if I'm not really getting knocked around, I'm like pretty good to go.
Yeah, there you go. It's fantastic. Golf's perfect.
Yeah.
Golf is perfect for you.
Golf's great. Yeah, golf's good. I can kind of change up my swing if I start getting a little tight, which in hockey, you can't really change up like your stride, you know. You just skate how you skate.
And you can't stop reverse hitting everyone on earth. So
it's impossible. It's impossible for me. It's like breathing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just Pavlovian. The situation's 100%. There. You got to do it. It's
100%.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Oh, dude, you mentioned that you're in Minnesota right now. It's not too far from Nodak, and that's what I want to talk about with you first. You've told the story a bunch of times, and you've mentioned that Nodak was kind of the first team that reached out to you, and that's a huge reason why you went there. And I want to hear about your experience there, but I also just I'm going to take this opportunity to call bullshit, because I just think it is insane that you are just lighting up Minnesota high school hockey, being Mr. Minnesota, and you're not getting a call from the Gophers. Like, how did that happen?
So I guess it was, I don't know, maybe some years down the road. And I found this box in one of my dad's storage unit. And it was a box, and it just had like maybe 15 to 20 like other schools' programs.
Shut the fuck up.
And it was like, you know, they send like their book of like their, I don't know, whatever they send out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but even North Dakota, I even had a North Dakota one in there, which my dad also never let me see.
Yep.
So my dad, he kept scouts away from me. He just wanted me to play hockey, have fun. And I literally never learned like what it meant to like be drafted or like any of that stuff. Yeah. So I like didn't know. I just played. Yeah. And like my dad kept all the other stuff away from me. And, North Dakota was the first team that like had actually came and be like, hey, we want you to play in North Dakota. I never even went on an official visit there.
Yeah.
I was like in town, like, I think I was in town, like school shopping, and we went to the game, and then they brought me to like the stick room, and I was like, let's go. Yeah. I'm in. If I get that many sticks, I'll go anywhere.
Yeah. Oshie's like, you have any idea how many different types of sticks I can have in here? This is unbelievable.
Like as far as I knew, like North Dakota's rink, it was every college was like that. I would have no idea. I never been to a college game, didn't watch hockey on TV, nothing. So
what was your first point of contact with them? Someone came to one of your high school games to watch you play, or?
So my senior year, Kerry Eads was my head coach my sophomore and junior year. He was a captain for North Dakota. My senior year, he went to North Dakota to become an assistant coach. And so that was kind of the second he left. It was, you know, I would have went to wherever.
Yeah, it's a secret agent move.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, that's perfect.
So, and then I was supposed to go to Sioux Falls for a year, but an opening came in, and as far as I'm told, I don't remember doing this, but apparently they asked me if I'd be interested in taking the spot. And I guess I just accepted the spot I was like, yeah.
You're like, how many sticks do you guys have?
I can't wait to play. Yeah. I can't wait to play North Dakota next year. And I guess they got off the phone and the coaches were like, well, I guess he's coming. He just accepted the job, even though they hadn't officially told me that like, it was my spot. And so I ended up being a true freshman. But I used a lot of sticks that year, believe it or not.
Dude,
doesn't shock me at all.
It fires me up that coach was just pulling a Vernon Dursley and keeping all these letters from TJ.
Yeah.
And also, I wonder how many schools right now are hearing this being like, what the fuck? Damn. Like, we had him. We had a chance.
It was there. I mean, I don't know. It was weird how it worked out. But yeah, it was, I found like letters, like personal letters with all the books saying like, hi, TJ, I'm Coach Lucia.
Yeah.
Would love you to, you know, come visit school down and be a Gopher. So,
and did you never feel any pang? Because you know you bang the drum for Minnesota hockey so hard. Did you never feel any pangs as a kid at all of like it would be cool to be a Gopher?
So North Dakota, Warroad's very split on their Gopher Sioux affiliation. And so you go into like because it's so close to Warroad, a lot of people from Warroad just go to North Dakota. You got there or Duluth or Bemidji. And so to actually go to school in the cities that's a long ways from home.
Right.
From Warroad. So you go into one classroom and there'd be like a Sioux head. Then the next classroom has like gopher stuff hanging up. You know what I mean? So it's like the school is very, we had a couple alumni go through North Dakota. Some alumni go through UMD, and a couple through the Gophers. So I had no affiliation to anyone, and I just wanted to play hockey.
Yeah, Dad just wanted to keep you close to home. Actually, now I see why behind the letters, lighting the Gopher letters on fire.
Yeah, he knew something. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You obviously had an unreal career there, man, and then kind of had a bit of a BC problem. And I gotta ask, if any of the kids grow up playing and they end up going to BC, is that going to be an issue for you?
I just don't think it's like it's an option.
Yeah. Okay.
So
what's
off the table?
What coach did to you, you're going to do to them. Those BC letters are going to come in, and you're going to just put those in the shredder immediately.
I'm going to burn them. Those will be burned. That was. Gosh, it's tough, and I really don't like to tell many people because it's just so many players just have. Well, I guess I say my number, but our number. They just kick the shit out of us every year in the Frozen Four.
Yeah.
It felt like even if we scored 7 goals, they'd have 8. And it was like,
dude, one of those games was literally like 7-6.
It was, yeah.
Something.
Yeah. It was crazy. I want to say it was like 7-5, 7-6, and like 6-1 maybe, or somewhere in those ranges.
Yep.
So the junior year one, that was the one we thought we were going to win, and they handled us.
They went
easily.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gerby. Dude, I wasn't even gonna say his name.
God, he was so. Remember how nasty he was in college?
Crazy, dude.
It was a little wild.
I remember him. There. He would just literally fly by. We had like so many big, like tough D men. Like you didn't want to be in front of the net with him, and he was just so fast that he just couldn't. He was just like goal. And you're just like, what?
Did you want that, like junior year? Were you like, good, I'm glad it's BC, or was a part of you like, fuck this, dude, this sucks?
Every year, the second year, that was when Duncan won the Hoey Baker. We still had Johnny T. So Taves and me were aligned, and we're like, oh, we're taking them down this year. Like this is the year. I want to say with that might be the year that we had all the goals. That was one of the high scoring ones.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
Yeah, that was rough. Just rough. I think that was that was actually in St. Louis too, I think.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
God,
yeah.
So
crazy.
double
whammy.
Worse.
God, we're just dumping salt in the wound here.
Well, Osh,
new subject.
Yeah. The draft that Dan mentioned, and you've told the story, but I think some of our listeners probably haven't heard it. So can you just tell a little bit about, like, literally you're watching MTV with your boy when you get drafted, and tell like the flying in at 4 a.m. for the combine, like before the VO2 test. Yeah, like just tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we'll start with the combine. I had to drive from Warroad to Winnipeg. My flight was at like 6 in the morning or something, and I had my senior party the night before, and so we were, I want to say it was me and my girlfriend, like a joint senior party. And so we were there until like 2-ish. And then my mom was like, I'll just drive you from there. You don't have to go to bed. So I slept on the way. She ended up getting lost.
Yep.
I think she flagged down a cops because she was like, back then you don't have Apple Maps.
Yeah.
We're just in Winnipeg somewhere. She doesn't know where she's going. We had like VZ Navigator that like didn't work.
Yeah.
And, so I think she flagged down a cop. She was like crying. She's like, my son's going to the combine. And she's like, I don't know how to get there, all this other stuff. He escorted us there. And so I flew in that morning. And my mom, I didn't have like a credit card or anything. I think my mom only gave me like $20 or something for the trip.
Yeah.
And so when I landed, I had to go right into like 8 or 9 meetings with NHL teams. And so I didn't eat breakfast, didn't have lunch, went straight into the combine, and I had never worked out before. So like, except for the school
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the pacer test.
weight
Yeah.
training
day,
class
yeah.
where
Yeah,
you just kind of hide in the corner. And so I did the training. Got introduced to the Wingate and VO2, which was
Lovely.
I fell asleep. I remember finishing those. I don't remember the one guy that was right behind me. He was like setting all the records and like the jumping, and it was insane.
Yeah.
I thought he was like a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I do Wingate, do VO2, go sit on a chair, put my head back. Clearly hadn't slept much, hadn't eaten. I want to say I might have puked first, and then I put my head back and fell asleep. And when I woke up, all scouts, all media, all the trainers were gone. It was just hotel people putting away all the equipment.
Oh my God.
So it was brutal. I felt terrible. So I went to the store and bought a box of Nutri-Grain bars
For $20.
I threw down like 5 of them. Ran a cold bath, like fell asleep in the bath, woke up, put on my suit again. Never worn a suit before. So I put on the suit that my mom just got me, and then did the remaining like 12 or 13 interviews, and then didn't know what to do for dinner. So I don't think I ate dinner and went to bed and got on the flight the next day.
Dude, like, it is genuinely a miracle you got drafted.
It's insane.
It's like
crazy. It was a crazy day.
Yeah, I imagine these scouts are in that room just looking at you sleeping, either being like, "This guy's a piece of shit," or they're like, "This guy,
He's the
this is a power move.
coolest, calmest
This is a
dude
power
on it."
move.
Yeah.
He's showing us that he doesn't care. He'll do anything."
He gave it all.
Yeah. He literally emptied the tank here.
He gave it all on the VO2 test and finished last. He died on the bike and was also last.
Dude, that's brutal. The first time you do like the Wingate VO2,
It's fucking awful, dude. That's insane.
it's terrible.
I mean,
I've never been good at it.
even
I
at
never will be.
18, doing that on like 2 hours of car sleep that's just a nightmare. Truly. Oh my God.
It was rough. So and then we go to the draft. I'm at my friend's house here in the Twin Cities, actually in Rogers. We're playing golf like later in that day with his dad and his brother, and my buddy is like all gung. He's like kind of a hockey nerd, you know.
Yeah.
So he's gotten his like Dell computer with like the dial-up internet, and he like logs in and he's just watching. I don't even think he's watching a video. I think he's just watching the picks come in.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, Brian Lee got drafted, who was going to be my roommate at North Dakota that following year." I was like, "Sweet, where'd he go? Tampa. What number? Awesome. Tampa's awesome." And he was in the kitchen. I was in the living room, laying on the floor watching Real World Road Rules Challenge.
Oh, great show, by the way.
On MT. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal
I mean,
show.
this is like
The
this is when
heyday.
they had like the main characters.
Dude.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
dude.
They
That
were-
was like Johnny Bananas, Alton, Landon,
CT.
Yeah.
CT.
Yep.
That shit was intense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was awesome. Anyways, and then he just yelled that I was drafted from the other room. He said to who? I was like, who's it to or whatever, and he's like St. Louis, and I was like, oh, I don't know anyone that plays for St. Louis.
Yeah.
I go and watch hockey.
Yeah.
And it's like I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, wherever, somewhere else. And then I do all of my interviews, and kind of got a lie saying they're like, who you most excited to play with? I'm like, I don't know, all of them. Like,
Yeah.
You're like looking
it'd be great to
looking at
be
your
great
hand.
to be there.
You're like, I'm really excited about playing with.
Yeah.
I printed, so after my initial interview, I printed out the roster and their coach's name. And so that I had that with me. We still went to the golf course, and I did the rest of the interviews on the golf course. And I had my printouts with me. So if they asked me any questions about someone, I could. So Keith Kachuk came up right away. I was like, oh, I can't wait to play with Keith Kachuk.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Dude, I mean, are you still like that? Because I know you're not, like, you don't go crazy on knowing everybody in the league, knowing all the stats and stuff. Are you still that checked out as far as that element is concerned?
I mean, you there's a lot of stuff obviously I learned along the way. Like, I'm not like an airhead by any means.
Yeah.
I got pretty good street smarts, but yeah, when it comes to sports or hockey, at least, I'm still very much like, I just play the game. I like to play it.
Yeah.
I don't like watch YouTube. I don't watch NHL Network. I don't learn anything that I do from like watching other people on TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still like, I'm terrible when it comes to other teams' lineups. Like when we play teams in the West,
Yeah.
There's usually 4 or 5 guys from shot. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
It's no disrespect to them, but there's no way I would know.
Dude, you know that chirp where like you look at the dude's nameplate?
Yeah.
Oshie isn't kidding though. He's like, I'm not trying to be mean. I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
He's like
What
going
number
up
are you?
to Kopitar. He's like, "What's up, man? I'm TJ."
Good.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah. Well, dude, we gotta move on down the line. And 2014, huge year. And I feel like when you think of TJ Oshie, you think of 2014. So we have to ask you about that year, watching Tom Brady rip the hearts out of all Seahawks fans and dancing on your graves. What does that feel like?
I have the video on my phone.
Were you
when
there?
I was watching the game.
Oh God!
So you were, because I know you don't watch
I have
tons
a
of
video
stuff.
of the interception.
Oh my God!
It was me, Coach Osh. It was just me and him in my living room, and I literally had to play. I was like, "Here we go,"
Because you were about to
Marshawn's
celebrate.
gonna put it in the end zone.
Yep. Dude,
Oh my
And
God.
literally, I intercepted, and then my phone. You can see I throw it against the couch, and this phone just goes black.
Do you
Dude,
still have the video?
You have to send us that video.
I have the video.
Okay, you have to
dude.
send us that video. That's incredible.
It'll take me a little bit with all the kids' videos that I have on the phone
Yeah.
now, but I'll go back. I'll find it. I'll send it to you guys.
All right, I'm sorry for that dig, but I had to bring that up just for a quick second. But obviously, what I mean with 2014, the Olympics and the shootout performance in Sochi. Tell us a little bit about how we want to talk about the shootout for sure, but I know that you being a humble guy, just keeping your head down and working so hard. 2010, when that came around, that was on your radar of something that you would love to do. I know that you would have loved to play for your country, make that team, and when you didn't, you definitely used that as motivation of when 2014 came around. It was not guaranteed, you knew that, and then you get one of those final spots. What was going through your head in the moment when you got named to the team and you knew you were going?
Obviously I was super jacked up. It really felt like this was kind of possibly my only chance to go, which it ended up being my only chance besides 2010. 2010, I looked at it as I had broken my leg in November, I think, in 2009. And so to me, it was like more of like an injury thing why I didn't make it. I don't think I would have made it anyways. I think them going like with Bugsy or Ryan Malone, kind of like that older established guy was clearly the right play. And then when I got named to the team, there had been an article that had come out on the process of who they wanted to pick. And there was a lot of talks about the shootout. Mm-hmm. And I want to say up to that point that year, I was at like 80%.
Dude, it was
you were dialed. You were so dialed.
I was hot that year,
yeah.
And so I felt like I had a good chance of making the team. Playing with Backus on his line, I think also helped. I was like, I play with Backus already. They kind of they need a shootout guy. And so when they named the team, I definitely was excited after playing in a couple world championships. I think the summer before I shot 5 times in the shootout and scored on 3 of them. And it definitely was like kind of like a let's get to work now sort of thing. I wasn't like, oh, I made it and my dreams come true. So yeah. Super thrilled to be on the squad, but I was really excited to get to Sochi, and honestly, I was hoping that my 5-on-5 play would get me some more ice time, but it ended up being the shootout.
But I mean, man, you've talked a lot about how the shootout kind of really launched your NHL career, right? Like it led to a bunch of things. So it's funny. Obviously, you want to score on every single one, but we always talk about one of your first attempts in that shootout.
It was the first extra time one.
Yes, it was the extra time shootout. You fucking undressed Bob with that backhand forehand and then just flipped it over the net. Is there any part of you that's like, thank God I missed that, because it then turned into like the most epic moment of all time?
Yeah, well, definitely the suspense honestly, I had two empty nets.
Yeah,
and
dude.
neither of them went in.
Seriously,
so
like
they were my two best moves by far.
Yeah.
And the 1-2, the forehand deke, the 5-hole, and then the forehand deke were like premeditated. I already knew I'm going 5-hole, and then after this, if we have to go again, I had to tell the coaches actually in the shootout that we were like reversing order. They didn't even really know the rules, but I had just done it in the summer before against like, I don't know, Italy, or I don't remember who we played, but maybe it was France or something. But so I was confident in the first two. But yeah, when that one went soaring over the net and I saw him still sliding like the wrong way.
Yeah.
At the time, I was like, "You idiot! Like you're never gonna go again. Like Kaner's next, Pav is gonna get another shot to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean." So I was like, "You blew it." And then the fact that they kept sending me out there was pretty. I mean, it was after every shot, I was like, "Okay, like, are you gonna? Is it someone else's turn?" And the coaches were literally laughing, and they're like, "No, like, go again,
go."
But we had worked on shootouts. There was an emphasis in the tournament that shootouts could decide a gold medal game.
Yeah.
And so we were doing shootouts every single practice. And I had all those guys' numbers on our team anyways. So it was still, I think I got enough confidence in the coaches to keep going.
For sure. And it must have felt pretty awesome having the boys just kind of keep pushing you out the door, being like, keep ripping, dude, let's go.
Yeah, I think it was Orphic maybe one time literally had to like pick me up off the bench, like, get out of there, because I came into the D side one time. Yeah. It was honestly because I went in so slow, I had to skate faster to get to the bench than I did to actually get to the net, and so I started getting tired by the end, just kind of going back and forth. But
dude, it's amazing. I also love how very often on the anniversary you give Quickie a shout out for being a wall back there. That's just like such a good look by you. And
thanks.
Then,
it's really, honestly, when I would miss in the shootout, it was like I felt like I was letting him down.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, I guess maybe you're thinking about the team a little bit more, so I'm thinking about him back there. He's going against like my favorite player of all time, Pavel Datsyuk.
Same, dude.
And then Kovalchuk stepping in. So when I missed those two, to me I was like, oh great, like now Quickie has to go again, kind of thing. So when I scored, it was immediately like, kind of like,
dude, that was when you won.
We did it.
Like the point straight to him was
first
fucking
thing
awesome.
I thought it was like, dude, we did it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, it is funny because he's such not an afterthought, but like he's such a footnote to that story. Like you 100%. Get all the press, and I'm like, he played pretty good.
Like at least 50-50.
Yeah, like it should be you too.
It should maybe be more him because he's handling more guys than just me. I just gotta go against one. So.
Oh, it's amazing, dude. Do you just in a fun way, obviously, do you ever rub that in Ovi's face at practice and stuff like that?
It's literally never come up one time.
Really? Wow.
No,
that's so funny.
It's never come up one time. He would be fine about it.
Oh, of course.
Even if it did. But there was something I was always nervous about when I first got to DC. And the very first time we worked on shootouts, it was. Maybe towards the.
You're like, Ovi, should I do these, Ovi? What do you think?
Yeah. No, he told me. So the Trotzy brought over like 6 players maybe. And it was towards the end of training camp, and Ovi was one of them. Myself, Backy. I don't remember Justin Williams. I don't know, whoever the other guy was. Marcus Johansson maybe. And like, all right. Oh, and sorry, Kuznetsov.
Kuzi, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, who wants to go first? And Ovi right away was like, pushed me to the front. He was like, Oshie's going first.
Yeah. Nice.
And so then he kind of like set the lineup for the next couple of years. And then after he did that, I was like, okay,
yeah, that was him acknowledging it, I think.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, I saw it.
That's why you've never talked about it. There's no
that's
need.
All we needed. Give me a little nudge, and I was like, all right, we're good.
Dude, and obviously such a special moment for you, that whole experience. But I have a theory that literally every American kid that year started an NHL dynasty, and you were the first trade. Like, we start them with our favorite teams, but like you were a Bruin on my dynasty, and everyone in Chicago, you were a Blackhawk. Like literally every American kid was like starting my franchise, trading for Oshie. Yeah. It was a national movement, dude. I have bonded with so many hockey fans about that exact thing. It was amazing.
Well, hopefully we got some W's.
We sure did. Oh, we won many cups too. Many cups. You just talked about coming to DC, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about that experience, right? Because it was like you kind of, I've read some stuff you said where you're like, I thought I was going to be a Blue for life. And then, you get the call like it's going to be moved. And even that was pretty chaotic where you're like, looked like Pitt even for a bit, it was like a bunch of teams in the mix. You feel bummed, you feel let down, and then you get jacked up because they're like, you're actually riding shoddy with OV and Backy, and that's pretty sick, So talk about just the first taste of like, oh, NHL's a business and I'm a capital now. And then also when that deal was up, now it's up to you, like you're choosing now, and you're like, I'm going to re-sign with Washington for the long haul. Talk about, what that was like and why that was a no-brainer for you, if it was.
Yeah. So when the season ended, it was kind of like St. Louis had been through this cycle of like, losing in the first, second round. And I want to say we lost to maybe Minnesota or in the first round, or I don't remember who it was, but we lost, and it was like, something's got to change. We can't keep doing this same thing. And so we had a bunch of like very like serious conversations with like coaching staff. The GM waited a couple weeks, Army, I think, to talk to the players. He kind of talked to us as a whole, and it was a very short meeting, like seconds, where he explained that his how not impressed he was by our exit. And so he had called me maybe 2 weeks before the draft, I want to say, and kind of asked what I thought our team needed. And I was like brutally honest, not necessarily throwing my teammates under the bus, but just saying in general, this is what I think the areas that we need to get better at. Looking back, maybe he didn't agree after trading me, but
you're like, we need to get better at right wing, and he's like, you're gone.
And then the draft rolls around. My agent calls me, tells me I'm being traded to Pittsburgh. And then that fell through. And then I want to say they either traded or signed Kessel. And then I was like, okay, so that's done. I've always wanted to be a Blue my entire life. Wanted to retire as a Blue. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm good. I didn't get traded. They're going to give me another year. It's going to be the best year of my life. I just switched to a different training. And I was like, literally up to that point, having the best summer training wise that I ever have. And then I get a call. Yeah. He's like, it was 30-second call. I was like, hey, Osh, how's it going? I'm like, great. I'm actually working out right now. And actually, it was like a Saturday morning. I don't remember what day it was, but it was like, I'm working out again today.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's great. Whatever. And then he's like, you've been traded.
Washington will be thrilled to hear you're working out.
To the Washington Capitals. Brian McClellan will be giving you a call here shortly. And then he's like, see you later. And then just hangs up. And so I was like I felt super, honestly, I felt like I let down like the fans, my teammates in St. Louis, because when you got your boss, like the boss of your boss, saying that like he had already said that something needs to change or something not right. Yeah. And when you're the guy that goes, you're just like, shit, I guess it's me. Like I was the problem.
Yeah.
Which is pretty hard pill to swallow for someone, that I try to pride myself on playing like the right way and the way the team needs me to play. And then I talked to Brian McClellan 5-10 minutes later. And so that was like 5-10 minutes of like, first I had to convince my wife that we were actually traded. She's like, no, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, we're traded.
Yeah.
She's like, we have a wedding in a month. We're moving into our new house in a month.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Now we got to sell St. Louis. We got to get into DC, and we have a 1.5-year-old kid. And so it was, it was mayhem.
Yeah.
It was an insane summer.
Yeah.
And then after I talked to Mac, I was like, oh shit, like this guy, like I know they traded me away, but like this guy wants me. He wants me to at the time it was potentially play with OV and Backy, but I you know, immediately switched my alliance. So I was like, all right, St. Louis,
Bye. Yeah.
Army, you're dead.
Yeah.
And BMAC, like anything you need, like I'll run through a wall for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And so, since then I get along better now with Army, obviously.
Yeah.
And love St. Louis and the trainers and the staff and the fans forever. But I am, once I switched to that Capital side, it's honestly, it changed my career. It's probably the best thing that ever could happen to me.
Yeah.
100%, dude. And you've gone all in, man. Like you are so Caps. It's amazing. And the fan base welcomed you immediately, but you even said when you signed, you were like, it was always here. No question about it. Like, I feel like you just completely bought in.
Yeah. There's definitely a story. I'll just tease you because I don't want to get it out until I'm done playing, but there's a story about how I re-signed.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I think it's a pretty good one. Between me and well, I'm not even gonna say anything, but it's,
sick. I can't wait to hear this. Yeah. Okay.
Before I re-signed, in my end of the year meeting, it went a certain way, and it went pretty well. So
That's
there you
awesome.
go. I like that a lot. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not excited for the end, but when we get that story, that'll be fucking
appreciate
awesome.
it. Yeah.
I love
it's a good one. It's probably one of the highlight stories of my career, I think.
Fuck, that's awesome.
Shit, that's a great tease. That's a great tease. Wow, well done. Oh, I love it. Well,
I'll come back on the pod to share the story.
Yeah, there we go.
Pausing the pod to remind you guys about our epic BetMGM partnership. You have to take advantage. I don't know how many times I try to give you this gift before you will take it. What you need to do is you need to download the BetMGM app, and then you're going to use the promo code NETTERS. That is NETTERS. What this allows you to do is place a bet on anything. And hockey season is right around the corner, guys. Let's be real. But you can place a bet on anything. Football's back. The betting world is firing. $5 up to $1,500. If you win, you're the best. You take the money, you run. If you lose, you're still the best because BetMGM takes that money from $5 to $1,500 and puts it back in your account. Back in. It was gone and now it's back in. And you can bet on anything else. So use promo code NETTERS when you get the BetMGM app and take advantage of this silky sick offer. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Well, obviously you're talking about how it's one of the best things that's happened in your career, and the Cup has to be one of those things. So kind of going back to what we were talking about with BC being a bit of a bugaboo with Nodak, Pittsburgh was definitely a bit of that with you guys with Washington. So when you get that year gets going, you take a couple knocks, then you get back on the horse, you're playing great, you get into the playoffs, and you see Pitt again. I'm curious, at that point, are you guys like, motherfucker, I do not want to play this team? Or is it one of those things where you're like, no, we have to play them. Like, we have to get over this hump?
I think there was a bit of resiliency had built up at that point from we were in Colorado, say it was March. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could look maybe late February or something. And this is just my assumption. I don't know if this is what is the way it was, but Trotzy was on the last year of his deal. And I want to say I think maybe around like the only way he re-signed was like if we won the Cup or like his,
that's
like something,
crazy.
like an extension kicks in or I don't know. And he came in between like the first or second and third period. And he literally like just laid his heart out there and was like literally getting into mostly the leadership group. Yep. So me, Carlson, Backstrom, Ovi, Brooks, Orpik, and basically said like, this is the way from now on, like this is the way that you guys are going to play. Basically, like you're going to play for each other. You're going to play defense. You're going to play like the way that the system is made. Or he's like, or you will not play. He's like, I don't care who you are. Fuck. But it was like, that's calm. Like he was like losing his voice when he was saying it. And he was like, not crying emotional, but you could tell he was like, this is what we're doing from now on. I don't care win or lose. Like, this is the way we're going to play. And so from then on, our defense really like picked up because everyone was blocking shots. Like Ovi was getting in there, you know, and if Ovi's blocking shots, like, everyone else has to. You can't have him, the best goal scorer of all time, blocking shots and you not doing it.
Yeah.
And so we go down 2 games to Columbus. And then we kind of just like get this, like, I don't know, Holtby goes back in net, and we kind of get this like everything's going to work out feeling. If we just play, let's just play this way. And we're going to, in 7 games, we'll win. We may not win 4 in a row, but in 7 games, we're going to win because we're going to beat the shit out of their defense. Mm-hmm. We're going to hit everything that moves, and our power play and other stuff's going to score us goals. And so after we beat Columbus and we got to Pitt, it was almost that same mentality. It was no longer like Ovi versus Crosby. It was no longer like, oh, we want to get like some cheap shots on these guys because it's Pittsburgh and it's a rivalry game. It was just like we were like so down to business. I remember we didn't even make like a playoff slogan that year. Every team does like, oh yeah, right, this is our year.
Yeah,
like, whatever. We literally just wore just this NHL's normal like whatever.
Capital.
It was like we were just like 100% all business, and even playing Pitt, like Backy got a concussion, I think, so we lost him. We had some like 2 guys that like hadn't played really at all much that year come in and like have a phenomenal game or 2. And it was just, and then when we beat Pitt, it was like, we're winning.
Yeah.
Like no matter what,
yep.
We're just going to stay this exact same way. We never got too jacked up on the bench. We never got down. No one ever like yelled at each other for like anything. It was like, it was crazy. It was like, there was like some type of zen or something that we had on the team that was like, we're winning the cup, and that's that.
Dude, we could see it just as fans watching. Like I said that to Devo recently. I was like, dude, when you guys beat Pitt, it was like, oh fuck, they did it. Like this is the Caps year for sure. And that's cool to hear that you kind of had that calm, just focus of like, yep, we did it. It's almost like miracle. It's like you get past the Russians and you're like, we're gonna do it. Just take care of business. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. It's very similar to that. Like there was obviously, I think you can look at like Ovi comes in the locker room and just lets out this like roar.
Yeah.
And it's like you could tell like that's just like he's like, oh, you know, we're all like finally.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, after that it was even against Tampa, I think down 3-2, we were still like there was like literally zero panic, no like so what sick. If. We just were like we're gonna win.
Dude.
And
so that year, like you get to this team, you have an unreal rip, 21 points, 24 games, just balling out. And like that's one of those storylines. It's like we bring in Osh, boom, look, it works out. You get past Pitt, Ovi gets his cup, Trotz his last year of his deal. You guys get it, bring it home to the fans. How electric was that party? Like when you guys were celebrating, there's obviously all the Hollow Man moments, there's the Ovi in the fountain moments, but like, was that just one of the best times of your life and certainly your hockey career?
Yeah, I mean, there was a full 48 hours where I felt like I was like literally Superman. It was like we were on top of the world.
How many of those were you asleep? Were you awake for the entire 48?
I wasn't asleep for that much, and I'm historically a sleeper when it comes to having too many drinks. So, but it was. I literally can't describe the feeling.
So awesome.
Until you know what? We were all so just like didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
That like we just let the whole town party with us the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was like we even talking to the guys with the cup. They're like, no one has ever brought in this many like fans that like you guys have. We would be at like rooftop bars and there'd be like crowds out of the street. And we'd be like, to hell with it, grab the cup, let's go party with. And we'd literally just go in the street, and they'd make like we had the police make like this big circle, and we would just go around to like the whole crowd, let everyone touch the cup, and like go around, and we'd like it was electric.
That's true.
For sure.
If you Google right now Capitals Cup Parade, the majority of the pictures that show up are just like randoms holding the cup. Yeah. It's like people on the street. You're absolutely right.
We were right in there. I mean. sometimes it was like, I'm sure the guys would have liked the cup to just kind of stay in our like little private room a little longer, but it just felt like, I'd never seen a city like that, especially DC, a place that historically is very divided, with the politics and all this other stuff. It was, everyone was just so happy, and there's so many people.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's the best.
It's absolutely incredible. Dude, how happy are you that you won the cup right before the Blues?
Yeah, so that, like, if it would have been reversed, it would have been
like a nightmare, dude.
That was me. It was my fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. No, it worked out pretty well, for sure, that we won first.
Yeah.
And then the Nats winning right after us too. Like, that was,
sick.
They partied with us. We partied, well, Bryce Harper did party with us, but we partied with them, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So good. So good. All right. Now I want to talk about Coach Osh. I want to talk about your dad, because he meant so much to so many people, but especially you. And I think everyone that's a fan of you and the game, frankly, knows that he saw you win that cup, and you give that incredible interview. He saw you make an all-star game, things I know he remembered forever. It's just such an uplifting moment. But the thing I really want to hit is the game after he passed. You came back and have a hat trick, and like, it's out of a movie script, dude. And yeah, there's incredible quotes from Backy, and the hug you guys had. Can you just tell us a little bit about how emotional that moment was, and just how you've been able to carry him with you in all walks of life since?
Yeah. So I think sports in general is kind of like my way of coping with things. It has been my whole life. My parents split up when I was in 8th grade, maybe, and they told me, and I literally went in the back and I just started shooting pucks, just taking slap shots as hard as I could.
Yep.
I think I broke our neighbor's fence or something, which I ended up having to do chores and work for to pay off. But so it was just kind of my, my way of coping with things in my life. I buried myself in athletics quite a bit. And so he passed early in the morning. I want to say probably around 4 a.m. The day before the game. And then I don't know what it was, but after he passed, for whatever reason, I was like, I gotta get back to the team. I gotta go play. I think he would have wanted me to, for sure. But something about it, I was just like, I gotta get back with like my boys.
Yeah.
And we have in DC are super lucky, especially at the time I came in. Like, this group that we have, a lot of players have left since, but Backy, Johnny, Tom, and O, and they were together before I was here. But they kind of become like your brothers. You go through all this stuff together. You win a cup together, a lot of heartbreak together, so many achievements, especially on the two big dogs. Well, Johnny, I think you can probably consider a big dog now, because he's leading all the categories in DC for a defenseman. But so I wanted to go back and be with the team, and this is during COVID times, right? So for me to fly across the country and still be able to play, you have to fly private, which is I don't like to spend money on stuff like that. But for whatever reason, I did it anyways and got back. I think I landed at like 8 or 9 p.m. In New York, and then we played the next day. So the game was super, super tough. I think I probably almost cried every single time I got to the bench.
Yeah.
So every time I got to the bench, even when I walked in, you see the guys that, in the morning, everyone obviously comes and gives you a hug.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so every hug you get, you're like, fuck.
Yep. Yeah. And you're like, God, I can't even believe
Hold
I
it back.
came here.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then after the third goal went in, and even just like seeing how much my teammates were like trying to get me the puck, and to score and to kind of get that, that kind of reception. And I mean, I've only had a couple hat tricks in my career, so like for it to be that game, you know, you immediately think about, or I immediately thought about Coach Oshie, and you know, that he was there, that he helped, you know, those things happen. Even like the first, the first goal, it's going right on one of their defensemen's stick, and it literally like bounces off the ice and does a perfect saucer pass over his stick onto me. I'm like, oh my God, it was like a 3-on-1 or something, which I would never shoot on a 3-on-1.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I was like, I'm going 5-hole.
Yeah.
And and then the third one, like under a guy's stick, you know, like when you kind of go like that for like a pass to like get under someone's stick.
Yeah.
Like to do that all the way down the ice. It wasn't even really looking at the goal. I was like, I'm just gonna get under this guy's stick, and then it goes in the center of the net. So you kind of just think he's there with you and get the embrace after the game. The embrace with Backy was super. That's I lost it on that one.
How could you not? How could you?
I don't know if some people know, especially DC fans, but me and Backy are neighbors. Our kids are all the same ages. His 3 and my older 3, and they've all been in the same class since they were 2. So our 10-year-olds have been in the same class since they were 2 years old.
Oh my God.
Our next 2 are his boy and my girl Lenny, my little sporty one. They like wrestle on the ground all the time, get each other in headlocks. They are running back and forth. They've been in the same class. So that moment was like super special. It was like, you know, hugging your brother. So super emotional game. I mean, crazy how it all ended up, but that was I don't know the grieving, how you know, there's all the steps,
stages,
whatever it is. You know, that one took me past a bunch of them.
Yeah,
so.
stage 8, have a hattie is a tribute to my dad.
Just had 9 and 10 to go after.
That was awesome. Dude.
But it's amazing, man. Like you said, there's something so special about, you know, Coach Oshie got you into this world, and what, you know, was your dad, your mentor, your leader, and it's these brothers that you have on the rink that, you know, many years later are the ones that help you get through these moments. It's like you can't really script it much better than that. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's a special game, man. Hockey's a special game.
Yeah, it really is.
And I think, you know, I owe a lot to the game and to my teammates and my dad, and for getting me into it. And I never mentioned my mom doesn't get a lot of credit, but she was always in the rink with us too. So
of course, yeah.
Little shout out to Tina.
Yeah,
she's a warrior. I get any feistiness I have is from my mom, and the love of the game and my hands come from my dad.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Well, talking about all these different guys and the elements of hockey, I feel like superstition is a huge one with your team. You guys are like the most superstitious team I've ever heard of in my entire life. You claim to not be that much, but like I know you got the butt taps going on the ice. But you once said that you think Paul Kariya is the most superstitious person you've ever seen in your life. I need to hear a couple of stories about the things that he does.
Gosh, I mean, I played with Paulie for just a couple of years. But there's it was just like every day was like seemed like to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. Paulie could be watching this, text me and tell me I'm an idiot. But every day he just seemed so absolutely dialed on like everything that was happening.
Like to the minute, are we talking here, or what do you mean?
Like the exercise was like, you know, he was doing like the thing with the ball and the bands, like called like a Corex maybe or something. He was doing that. I didn't even see it before. I see this guy looks like Spider-Man doing all these things. And his body, he was just cut like a I don't know, like some type of warrior.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the way he taped his sticks, he would go through practice every time you're just doing like the circles, he would be doing it, but he would like only take like backhanders 5-hole through the center of the, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's not like one thing where you're like, oh, that's absolutely insane. But like every day it seemed like he needed to do these specific things.
Yep.
To play hockey.
Yeah. Like he had a regimented routine.
I was a young guy, so like I might not have got a lot of sleep the night before sometimes.
Yeah.
So I was just on the training room. I didn't stretch, just had a coffee, hung out with the trainers, threw in, a chew and just not very NHL-esque, professional type warm-ups.
And this guy's just like a computered machine with this regimen.
I love when it starts to blur between superstitious and OCD. I'm like, oh, dude, you you have a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The way he would tape his sticks, too, like the absolute precision and focus. I just was like,
yeah.
He's just like, and you're just like, dude. That's a perfect tape job.
Yeah, he's got like a ruler going along the top of the blade, making sure that it's the perfect.
You're like, Paul, we got 82 of these, bro. You're gonna have to chill out a little bit.
Yeah. He was great.
Devo told us that you guys were ripping Mario Kart during the playoffs, that's your game, eh? You're a big Mario Kart guy.
Can we get up to the? Can you see the?
Wait.
Oh
dude.
My God! Look at that.
Are you kidding me? That's incredible.
Wario was my guy.
Yep. Dude.
Wait, hold on. I need to know why. Why was Wario your guy? Because it sounds like Warroad, or was it just totally random?
No, that was just completely by chance.
Okay, nice.
Because we were the Warroad Warriors, or still are. So you can see by the shirt.
Yeah. I see.
That's in Ojibwe. But so we were playing. I think I always wanted to be like Toad. From my childhood, it was just like Toad. He's like, guy can fly through Koopa Troopa Beach with a little cave.
Oh yeah,
like you almost didn't even have to jump for him.
Yeah.
And so, we were playing
right.
like 8. I didn't leave the hotel one time in the 2018 playoffs. I only was in the lounge playing Mario Kart. Actually, I went one time in the finals because I had to get fitted for my buddy's wedding in Vegas.
Yep.
I got a cab and went to like one of those places, but and so I felt like I'm pretty competitive, and I felt like I was a pretty good Mario Kart racer, but I wasn't winning every time, and that bothered me. And so I think I Googled, and some guy simulated like 10,000 races, and Wario won like the most percentage of the time. Yeah. So I was like, I'm switching to Wario.
It's a competitive advantage.
Ever.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say no one chooses Wario.
Like
so you're good.
They go Bowser or DK. If they're going like the burly guys, they go Bowser or DK.
Yeah, Brett Connolly got a Bowser inside his sleeve tattooed.
Nice.
And then Niskanen was always Peach, and I think Jay Beagle was I can't remember who he was, or what he was Toad, I think. But anyway, so when I switched to Wario, and I immediately started like taking over. Dang. And those guys probably won't admit it, but like, I was tough to beat.
You were dominating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was always, we're just racing. We're 150cc. We're not doing battles. We were always doing races.
Only races.
Yeah.
Never with like the other characters, like just
just the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the 4. And there was sometimes there'd be up to like 12 guys waiting.
Yeah.
So like depending on how many it was, like one guy gets to lose the controller, 2 guys, sometimes 3 guys lose the controller at a time.
Days.
So there's a lot of, and then there was like a couple of the young European guys were just playing FIFA the whole time on the TV next to us, but the rowdiness was
the real ones were playing.
Oh,
Mario
dude, friendships end with Mario Kart sometimes. If we're being real, like that shit got serious.
I remember one time I came back to the room and me and Niskanen had been playing. I want to say we woke up in that morning and we hadn't done anything but eat and play Mario Kart. And I FaceTimed my wife before bed when we got to the room, and she was like, she's like, do you have pink eye? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
She's like, your eyes are completely bloodshot red. And I like look, I'm like, oh yeah, they are. It's like my eyes are almost bleeding from playing Mario Kart for so long.
Sorry, I've won the Flower Cup 5 times in a row.
I had a busy day.
I don't know what to tell you.
No big deal.
Yeah. Well, this is actually a perfect transition into Warroad, the company, because we got to get into that now. Whenever you hang them up, Osh, among the family time and the golf, we know how you'll be staying busy with this awesome company you founded. We're dripped out in it right now.
Yeah, we're down.
And, dude, I got a Tylo right here.
Boys are looking sharp,
Look at
too.
this, dude. I got one right here, which is going to be under our gear permanently. So,
Let's go.
Tell us about how, I know with Jay and, talk to the founders, and you had to call your boys back home to make sure the name was cool and all that stuff. But just tell us how the idea came about in the first place and what got you so excited about it and what you see for the future of the company.
Yeah. So originally approached by now my partners who we had met through my agent, and they came in and they, we actually were at, I think we're at the Capitol Grill, like the famous one in DC where all the movies are, which is kind of a cool first meeting. And they said they had an idea for this company. They told me why, how hockey, has Bauer CCM, but nothing really like. There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of space that's not being used in the hockey community, in the hockey world.
Totally.
And similar to North Dakota, I'm a big hat guy. And so I was like, will I be able to design my own hats? And they're like, for sure. And I was like,
and dude, extra
I'm
sticks. Do you have a lot of sticks and a lot of hats? And I'm fucking down, dude.
Sticks and hats, sign me up. I don't even need to get paid.
Yeah.
And so that's literally kind of how it started. They asked about the Warroad name. Jason went to Minnesota hockey camps and always admired the kids from Warroad.
Yeah.
And heard about, this dream world that is Warroad, the town of Warroad.
Free ice for everybody, baby.
Free ice for everyone. Come early, stay late, skate every day is literally on in the ice sheet.
Yeah.
And so I told him I was a little nervous about that at first because Warroad is it's just such a cool name, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's gas, dude.
And it's just a super special place to me. Truly don't think I would have played in the NHL if I never moved to Warroad. I don't know what I would have been doing, but I wouldn't be as happy as I am now, for sure. And so I talked to my buddies. They agreed that if, we took care of the youth hockey and helped out there, that they would love the name out there. So that was the origin. It wasn't till we started getting a little more innovative that we came up with the Tylo. My partners came to me and they're like, what don't you like about, your hockey gear? Is it your, it could be gear, it could be your shirt, whatever. I historically had an insane problem with eczema from my gear. Even when I was a little kid, dude, I had to wear long sleeve shirts at school every day because I was embarrassed about my elbows having rashes.
Dude, I got it on my calves. I need to get I still to this day in beer league, I wear a full length jock because my shin pads would give me horrible eczema on my calves. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I got to DC, it went got 10 times worse. I don't know why. But it was to the point a couple times where I was like, I don't know if I can play.
Oh yeah. Dude, it hurts.
You can't. I had it. It was it was somewhat everywhere.
Yeah.
And when it gets that bad, you don't even want to wear a shirt.
No.
Yeah. You don't want to be awake. There's been some players that have had to retire from stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of players personally that really struggle with it. So I was like, I need a shirt somehow that can fix this rash issue, because it seems the ones I'm wearing just aren't working. I actually had switched back to the old school 90s baby blue with the navy blue color.
Oh, no way.
Full hot cotton shirt.
Yeah,
that's
Jesus
what I was wearing.
Christ, you must have added an extra 15 pounds to yourself.
It's crazy. I was wearing a sweater underneath my gear. Because everything else, the seams would mess me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I was like, I want this. Also, I think it just happened. Obi had gotten slit on the wrist when he was sitting on the bench. It was a pretty important part of the game, and I think it was third period or something. He had to go get stitches, and we're like, we need Obi right now.
Yeah.
And he had to go. So I was like, I've seen some, and it's happened a couple other times. I have a couple nicks on my wrist. One needed stitches, one didn't. And I was like, is there a cut resistant, something that you could put on the wrist? And then he was like, I don't know. Like, we'll look into that. And then the last issue was like my elbow pads slide down.
Dude.
And then once your elbow pad, once your elbow hits once, it's over. Like it hurts for like 6 months.
Oh, it's over.
The next time you hit it on anything, you're done.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how good you can. I have like bone that like
bro,
is all the way right
here.
here.
It's
it
disgusting.
was from here, and it like traveled up here, and it's just stuck in my
the permanent
forearm.
Bursitis of just like swollen elbow at all times.
Yeah, and so anyways, we made the padlock, which is the part that comes back over the elbow pad, and that's how the Tylo was made, and I loved it. I had Tom Wilson, a couple other teammates try it. And we just tried to like keep perfecting it and did like the way we wanted. And that's kind of how the Tylo was born. And that's, majority of our business now is the Tylo. And, unfortunately with the accidents that have happened, the neck guard. But we were happy that we had the neck guard before that had happened, when a young boy from Connecticut, had died. And I literally saw it in the news, and I texted Jason and Derek right away. I was like, we need to protect like these kids that don't have paramedics all over the place. You know what I mean? We have 2 ambulances, 2 paramedics teams at every game in Washington. So there's a better chance that, you survive a terrible accident like that. But kids, there's no one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a good point.
And it is, I mean, dude, it's an answer to a serious problem. Like it pops up more and more now. The game's getting faster. The gear is more advanced. Your skates are sharper. And especially when you're talking about at a young age, that's when a lot of these accidents happen, dude. Like kids are falling all over the place. You're lower to the ice. So it's awesome to see it, be such a quality product. And then also like the shit that we're wearing, man, it's like, something that I love that you guys have done is there is no, like Bauer, CCM, amazing. But when you look at some of if I'm just like walking around to the rink and I want to be wearing shit that I'm warming up in, how often did it feel like these companies were teaming up with like a Lululemon or a Vuori to have like some of these nice athleisure kind of fitness clothes? And that's another thing that Warroad is answering. It's like, these are clothes that I would wear to the bars. There's also clothes that I would wear when I'm training, and clothes that I'm wearing when I'm going to the rink or going to the gym and stuff like that. Because that was an empty space in the hockey world.
Yep.
And it's not empty anymore, which is phenomenal.
That's definitely the space that we wanted to get into. And I think being a new company, it takes a little bit until you have the means to get there.
Yeah.
And so that's something that's opening up. What you guys are wearing now is all on the website.
Yep.
And actually just got launched. And so we want to get into that space. We want hockey players to wear a hockey company and like be proud that they're like, you meet someone that's not, and they're like, whoa, what's that? And like, oh, this is this hockey company, Warroad. I feel like the hockey community is like so tight.
Yes.
Anywhere you go, you meet someone, someone that knows someone else.
Yeah.
And you can immediately be like, oh yeah, I played with him in juniors. That guy's awesome. I miss him,
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Like the hockey community is super tight. And I think we just want something where it's not like you're proud that you're wearing something that's made by the hockey community for the hockey community. It's not made for yoga.
Yeah.
Or it's not made for football. You know what I mean? It's made for hockey, for the community, and a lot of effort and time and sweat and things went into it, and we're super proud of it. I'm super proud of it.
Oh my God, man! Of course.
Couldn't ask for better partners, and I mean, like I said, the name means a lot to me.
Yep. Yeah. And dude, quality wins out, man. Like it is so comfortable. Both the stuff we're wearing and the Tylo, dude. Like it is a perfect. I love having this on under our gear. Like it is an amazing product.
Thank you. We really, that's one area for me that we will not compromise the technology and the fabric for speed and the money that you would make on a cheaper garment. Yeah. So we really want to, and we will not want to, we will and always will strive to bring the best possible products that we can. And sometimes That might mean that Tylo's a little more expensive than something else out there, but I can promise you we're working to make it the absolute best thing that's on the market. So,
dude, and that's the thing, man. It's like, that's the stuff that lasts too. It's like, I don't want to buy something cheaper that I'm going to have to replace in 2 years. I want to buy this that I'm going to have for a long, long time because it's quality, because it's awesome, and I trust it and use it. You know, like, that's just the name of the game.
I actually got a call from from Jason. I was still wearing, up until I switched to the Tylo neck and wrist, I was still wearing one of our demo Tylos.
Yeah.
And he saw me like in between periods or in an interview or something. He's like, dude, how old is that shirt? I was like, it's like 2 years old, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to switch. So I was like, why? It's still,
Yeah, it works
it's
great.
still working perfect. I mean,
He's like, we have a newer model, dude.
he did. He's like, we have a newer one. You got to wear the. I was like, well, I like it's still working. So
That's
I'm definitely that guy. My wife asked me to get rid of all my old clothes all the time. I'm like, well, I'm still wearing them. They're still
Same, dude. I'm a nightmare with that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing shit, dude. We're gonna keep, rocking it, pushing it out for sure.
Appreciate it.
All right, dude. We're gonna close you out with a game that we play with all our guests. It's called Pass, Shoot, Score. Pass, great. Shooting's better. Love getting pucks on net. Score is obviously the ultimate goal. So it's basically going to be 3, 2, 1. So we're going to give you 3 things. You got to rank them: pass, shoot, score.
Okay.
All right, your first one is going to be country singers. So pass, shoot, score: Luke Combs, Luke Bryan, or John Denver.
Oh, that's a tough one. So pass will be Luke Bryan. I mean, shoot it's tough.
Yeah.
With John Denver.
Yeah.
That's a nice little wrinkle you put in
Yeah.
Damn, you.
I'm not going to make it easy for you, dude.
But
I'm gonna go John Denver is gonna be shoot. Luke Combs score. I'm a massive Luke Combs fan.
Okay.
I can't believe the goal song doesn't get score, dude. It's just like, it was too perfect.
It should, right? It should. Literally, my kids sing Luke Combs.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
I'm not exaggerating. I listen to Luke Combs' Fast Car cover almost every day. It's gas.
It blew up.
like my kids, like the older ones, not so much more, but like when I sing to them at night, like it's literally, I just go like in my phone, like, okay, take a Luke Combs song.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, let's go. And I'll just run through I know probably almost every word to almost every song he has. I'd say 70% of his songs, I know every word.
What's your favorite?
Oh man. So the Father and Son album just came out.
Oh yeah, God.
And so there's a bunch of like super good ones in there.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough to compete with.
Yeah.
All time, I don't know, but the new album is pretty good. It hits me and Coach some of the songs, and it hits me and my little man on some of the other ones. So
No doubt.
And you're gonna keep him going. Like John Denver staying the goal song, right? We can't switch to Luke, even though he's become your guy.
No, I mean the goal song is staying forever.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my buddies on the golf trip, I had to do karaoke. That's how I picked the song.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
And yeah, so that's sticking.
That's an all-timer.
Yeah,
our uncle that was like his favorite song on earth. And
Oh,
he was a big sailor, and like we'd just be on the boat just listening to that constantly.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like at the bar or something. Like I'm definitely more of like a singing, like a group singing kind of guy than like a dancer. So like we just hosted a wedding. I don't want to go too long on you, but we just hosted a wedding 2 weekends ago, and the wedding ended with Country Roads. And so it's like the last song of the night. Everyone's like
whole place
crowded around each other. I had my girls were in the wedding. So my girls were on the dance floor with me at like 11 p.m. singing Country Roads. It was awesome.
That is such a memory.
That's so awesome.
Whose wedding was it? Family?
It was my wife's best friend's wedding.
Awesome.
Nice.
So cool. So
the one
cool.
that helped us with the name.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your next category, Osh. This category is called cheat meal. Okay? Pass, shoot, score, a bowl of Captain Crunch, and it's up to you if you want to say out of the cup or not. All right, so a bowl of Captain Crunch, a maple cake donut, or Grandma Oshie's famous peanut butter cookies at Christmas.
Boy. Wow. That's a tough one. I'll pass on the donut. these are all three. If like these are in any other category,
Yeah, they're 3 scores.
Else, they're all 3 scores. So,
dude, I'm the biggest maple donut guy, dude, and I know you had one like every day for breakfast, but I'm telling you, I had it for breakfast and lunch, dude. Like that is how serious I take a maple donut.
Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna pass though. Shoot shoot without the cup is going to be peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Okay, my clarifying was, are you eating peanut butter crunch, or because like you're a peanut butter guy clearly? So
I'm a peanut butter crunch guy.
Okay.
Yep.
So good. Oh my god.
So we had I didn't eat peanut butter crunch out of the cup though, which is like just killed me.
Such a mess.
That's a mess. That's a
Killed
mess.
me. We had like a box in there, and I like lifted up, and it was like too light, and I was like, no. And I looked inside. There's like a couple like little
disaster.
Kids got me.
Yeah.
And then Grandma Oshie's peanut butter cookies, they take the cake. She puts so much like sugar on top, and they got like the fork
mark.
markings.
Yes, dude.
Oh,
so good. Is she more of a crispy or like a soft gooey?
They were more just like right in the middle.
Yeah, it's like
a little
edges,
crisp on the outside, but like the inside was soft.
Yeah, that's a perfect cookie. That's a perfect cookie.
It's a perfect peanut butter cookie.
Osh, if I had put in Joe's steak and stone crab in the mix, where would that have landed?
I mean, I'm a sweets guy, dude.
Okay,
so like,
good. Yeah, good.
If I have to eat real food, I'm eating like a steak. Every time.
Yo,
they don't have Dungeness crab. At Joe's, but if there's like a Dungeness crab, like being from Everett, Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
I'm a sweets guy. I could eat cereal for the rest of my life.
Dude, it's so good.
So here's my one last like food follow up for you on this one. We heard about the story of the Guinness and wine mix. So I have this is actually more on the sweet side. I have something that you need to try. If you haven't yet, you gotta mix red wine and Diet Coke. It's gonna change your life.
Really?
Yes. I'm telling you, it's disgusting.
Is this thing going viral? Because I could have swore I saw a video on this on Instagram or something.
I'm sure you did. I'm telling you, red wine, Diet Coke, put a little ice in there. It's disturbingly good. It's disturbingly good.
I'll get in there. I'm not typically a Diet Coke guy, but the wine must do something.
Yeah, exactly. It does.
Exactly.
Keep an open mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your next one. Unique skills. Pass, shoot, score. The Hollow Man. Having a casino dealer level bridge shuffle. Or fitting 26 guys in a hot tub.
I'm gonna pass on the perfect bridge shuffle, although I have a pretty solid one.
Yeah.
26 guys in the hot tub brings me right back to the Nodak days.
Exactly, dude.
Oh man. What was the other one?
The Hollow Man, dude. One of the great performances of all time.
Okay. I'm too much of a team guy to throw the Hollow Man in the score. I'm gonna shoot on the Hollow Man. And the 24-man hot tub after getting swept by Michigan Tech is going to be my score.
Dude, what an awesome story. I couldn't believe that. That was so
And here's
great.
the thing, dude. How much water was possibly in that hot tub when all 24 of you got out?
So this was a North Dakota hot tub. So it was like made for like 16 guys. Probably.
Yeah.
So the other 10, I mean, it wasn't like we were sitting around hanging out. Like guys were like cannonballing. When we got out, the water needed to be refilled.
Yeah, for sure.
That is so incredible.
You're in college, so not everyone jumped in the shower before, so the water isn't exactly clean either way. So.
Oh, they had to drain the whole thing. Yeah.
That was a low point in the college career. At the time, Michigan Tech was not very good.
Right. Yeah. But into a high point memory though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, into a high point memory.
Because you guys ripped after that, right? It was like
I want to say we only lost like one game.
It's so insane.
Maybe two the rest of the season. That was December 17th, right before Christmas break.
Those bonding moments, dude.
Yeah.
It'll do it
until we ran into the team who must not be named.
Yes, true.
Let's leave them out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Last one, Osh. This category is called gifts. Gifts you've received. Pass, shoot, score. The putter for your 1,000th game. the puck you got from JR at a roller hockey skills comp when you were 14, or the painting of you and Coach Oshie that the fam got you for Father's Day?
Jeez, man. So that's tough. That's a tough one. So the putter and the puck from JR are going to be very close.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put JR's puck as the pass.
How did
JR,
that,
if
how
you're
did that
watching
happen?
this,
How did that happen, by the way?
just it's kind of just one of those moments, like one of those parts in your life where like you still don't believe that like you cross paths at that time.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And the fact that I know him now
Yeah, right.
is like come full circle is just absolutely nuts. And so a little kid for me back then, like the only way I knew hockey players were like by hockey cards. I collected like all different types of cards. Which reminds me, I should go back through Coach's storage and see if there could be some like ones that are worth some money in there. But and so I had like a bunch of JR cards, and he was kind of like one of the guys that were my staple in my little book. So to get a puck from him, I was like, dude, like to me, guys that were in my like, the notebook of all the cards, they were like immortals.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
There was like Superman cards in there. So they were like one of those people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I'm gonna pass on the puck. I'm gonna put the putter at number 2, which was a very good gift from the guys. 1,000 games was like one of the only goals I really had for like my own career.
Yeah.
Besides winning the Stanley Cup and trying to get a gold medal and stuff like that. But and then the picture of Coach and I is super special. That'll be the score. It's still hanging up, and a good moment between me and the big man.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah,
I lost it when I saw that. What an awesome thing.
Yeah, it was a good one.
All right. Well, Osh, you absolutely crushed it, man. This has been so fun. You're a beauty for coming on. We can't thank you enough. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to plug or shout out?
No, I mean, we touched on Warroad. Super happy the brand. I think we are gonna we're spreading pretty good. So we're gonna be in Canada soon, extremely soon. Hopefully to get overseas here eventually. But the brand, we're working hard to really create the best possible product for the hockey community out there. So hopefully everyone jumps on board. Want all the kids to stay safe out there. Enjoy playing the game, have fun. It really is the best game in the world. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
Always.
This was great. You guys are beauties. And shout out to Tina, my mom Tina as well. She's like I said, she's an absolute beauty. Fierce woman.
Fierce. That's where you get. That's where the reverse hit comes from. Hands from dad, reverse hit from mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any of the physicality comes from mom.
There you go. All right. Well, I mean, we're banging the Warroad drum as well, man. It's amazing stuff. So again, thanks for coming on, dude. We'll have you on again soon for sure. But this was awesome.
I hope so. I got to get on and tell you guys when the time comes. I'll tell you the story between me and my re-signing.
Yeah,
amazing.
We need it. Huge shout out and thanks to TJ Oshie. Such a fun episode. The best guy ever. Can't wait to keep hanging and talking with him. Unreal.
It's so cool. So many funny stories. Dude, he is the hockey player that I want to be. He's like, and I mean all encompassing in his life, like the way he acts, the way he plays, everything he's accomplished. It's like, fuck, man. Fantastic. And what he's doing now with this stuff. Good
work and or hard work and good people, man. You just see results, and he's just the embodiment of that, which is amazing. And then as we don't need to gas it up even more, but like the Warroad brand is so awesome. It's so cool being a part of it, seeing it unfold as well as it is. It's just unreal stuff.
This thing, dude. Get a Tylo if you are playing still. They are amazing. I'm dead serious.
Truly, it's such a game changer. The padlock thing is actually the most influential thing in the hockey game, as far as I'm concerned, saving my elbows. But anyway, that was our unbelievable episode and interview with TJ Oshie. Got to be one of your new favorite players if he hasn't already. That is it for us today at the Empty Netters podcast. Another beauty, and we will see you next time. And until we do,
skate hard.